You are listening to RetroLovers Radio, your go-to broadcast for positive nostalgia.
What a wonderful night. You're listening to Retro Lovers Radio, a space for 80s and 90s music, memories, and for positive nostalgia. Sometimes a single song doesn't just become a hit, it completely changes an artist's destiny. In the 90s, careers could turn overnight. An artist could spend years being ignored, and then one song suddenly opened every door. On radio or on MTV or world tours, a new identity. The 90s were full of those moments where one track rewrote everything. A clear example of this that we had mentioned before about the 90s is Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit from 1991. Before this song, Nirvana was part of the underground Seattle scene. They were respected but unknown to the mainstream. Then came Smells Like Teen Spirit, produced by Batch Big and released on the album Nevermind. Almost overnight, everything changed. The song exploded on MTV, the sound of grunge went global, and Kurt Cobain became an unwilling voice of a generation. Among other bands, alike bands. This single track didn't just make Nirvana famous, it shifted the entire direction of 90s music. Another powerful example, similar to this influence that the song had in their careers, is Alanis Morissette with You Oughta Know from 1995. Before this song, Alanis was largely unknown outside Canada, and You Oughta Know, produced by Glenn Ballard, was raw, angry, and emotionally fearless. It didn't sound too polished, it didn't sound safe, and that's exactly why it worked in that moment. Um, the song transformed Alanis into a global figure and turned Jagged Little Pill into one of the most defining albums of the decade. Her career didn't just rise, it was kind of reborn. Then we have another example with Radiohead and Creep from 1992. Initially, the band didn't even want to play it, but Creep gave Radiohead international exposure and allowed them to build a career that would later evolve into something much more experimental and complex. Without that one song, Radiohead might never have had the freedom to become Radiohead. Another case now coming to pop music is Britney Spears with Baby One More Time, written by Max Martin. This debut single instantly launched Britney to pop superstardom. One song and suddenly global tours, massive media attention, a defining pop identity. Of course, there is a lot of funding behind the their record labels in that moment, a lot of marketing. But I mean, a whole marketing industry may die in a few weeks if no one listens because something is too bad or they never grab the attention of the public. And her entire career trajectory was set in motion by that single release. And maybe we would have never known about Britney Spears again without that song, because no one would pay attention to the other songs. And what all these songs have in common is timing. They arrived at the exact moment the world was ready for them. And once they hit, there was no turning back. So if you enjoy discovering how songs change artists' lives, you'll love our live shows. So join the 90s Lover Show every Friday, and also the 80s Lover Show every Saturday, if you also enjoy the 80s. Both are live at 7 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel that we use as a waiting room to gather people because of YouTube restriction to play the full show. And then I share the link for Kick, and then we all go to Kick to start the full show, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes longer. So if you arrive late, you're going to see a replay of the YouTube live stream, a video of about 10 to 15 minutes in which I just make time for people to gather, and I share the link to jump into Kick. And if you arrive late, you can join the live stream on Kick at any time, participate in the chat, or send your voice messages if you want me to play them on air. You can vote the delight levels of each video clip, and much more. So also don't forget to keep an eye on the channel and hit the notification bell, as I have some extra monthly shows bringing you surprises and with an extra 1 hour long shows with hidden gems, with new music based on the 80s and 90s sounds, and much more, and additional shows. Also, don't forget to join our public Facebook group. You can find us at RetroLovers Radio, 80s and 90s Nostalgia. So sometimes success doesn't come gradually. Sometimes it comes in one powerful moment, one song that opens every door. And when it does, nothing is ever the same again, especially for that artist. So, which 90s song do you think changed an artist's career forever? Apart from the ones I mentioned. Maybe you agree with it, or you think that there are another examples. They are. There are many more. Which are those songs that change an artist's career forever? Please share them on the comment sections on YouTube and tell me why you think so. So before I go, remember to take care of your loved ones, and remember what is truly important in your life. All the rest is secondary. Alright everyone, thank you so much for being here. and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Mick, and this was Retro Lovers Radio.